Good afternoon. Please gather around. We're going to have a concert here of some singers. But first, before we have this concert, I'm going to invite Graham up to give a toast to Pat Matthews. So please gather around, sit, and we're going to have a concert.
Hey, everyone. How are you this afternoon? It's so good to see everyone. All right, Atlee. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that, sir. Listen, everyone. I want you to look next to you and see if the person next to you has a glass with them, because we're going to do a little toast right now. A toast to Pat Matthews. Everyone back there have a glass? And does Eric have a glass in the back? Good. All right. So if I could ask everyone to have their attention just for a moment, just for one moment. Could I have your attention for just one moment? Just a moment. Give me one moment in time, which gets just one moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to toast to Pat Matthews. Maria was kind enough to ask me if I'd lead a toast. And I have to say, I was just so honored to even sing and to be allowed to speak. And you not knowing that I'm a middle child and all I want is a mic. So thank you. Listen, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I do want you all to know that I studied voice with Pat Matthews. He was a mentor, a friend, a teacher, and I'm so thrilled that I was able to share some of his tutelage to me today at his service. One of the arias he used to yell at me about, or the songs I would sing, was Piero's Tanzlied from an opera called Die Tote Stadt. And the end of that aria, I was thinking what to say, Maria. I was like, what am I going to say? What can I offer? The end of that aria, famous baritone aria, it's this Piero. He's a performer who's on the road performing, and he's singing a song for his fellow performers. And he says, at the end of his song, he says, in German, Rausch und Not, Wahn und Glück. Ach, das ist gaukles Geschick. Loosely translated, it says, intoxication and misery, illusion and joy, that's the artist's fate. That's the life of the artist. I think that encapsulates a lot of Pat. I thought about that when I was saying it. I said, how does misery? Pat, he locked in on all these young people who needed someone, who were going through terrible times. And he held them up and brought them into the light through music and through personal connection. The illusion of the art that he created, being able to take us to different places. Intoxication speaks for itself. But the biggest word there is joy. Pat brought us all immense, immense joy. And I'm so happy to be able to stand in front of you and lift a glass to the joy of Pat Matthews. To Pat. Here. Prost. Now, this is relatively loosey-goosey what we're doing up here. So I'm going to bring up the next speaker. This is kind of like an impromptu concert. I know it doesn't look impromptu with the stage up here, but what I'd like you all to do, there's going to be some people up here performing, some tributes to Pat. Enjoy the food, enjoy drink, and try to give great attention to these wonderful people again. Okay, thanks, everyone.
Okay, first up, we have Pat's daughter Maria and Kyle Bielfield singing a song, and they'll come up here in a second. For a while, as time moved on, Pat was starting to get a little cantankerous. And then one day, he announced to the choir on Thursday night that he had a daughter. And from that point on, his life was forever changed. So now we have Pat's daughter Maria and Kyle. Please.
This side. So you guys know, Pat and I sang this for a Music Inside Out concert probably about 10, 15 years ago, and then Maria and I sang it, I don't know how many years ago? Yeah. 8 years. It was for his birthday, so.
It was 8 years ago.
I would like you to hold this.
Yeah. I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn, and we are led to those who help us most to grow if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes the sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? Because I knew you. I have been changed for good.
It well may be that we will never meet again in this lifetime. So let me say before we part, so much of me is made of what I learned from you. You'll be with me like a handprint on my heart. Now whatever way our stories end, I know you have rewritten mine by being my friend. Ship pulled from its mooring like a wind off the sea, like a sea dropped by a skybird halfway through the woods. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you,
Because I knew you, I have been changed
for good. And just to clear the air, I ask forgiveness for the things I've done you blame me for.
Well, then I guess we know there's blame to share, and none of it seems to matter anymore.
Like a comet pulled from orbit,
Like a
as it
comet
passes
pulled
the
from
sun,
orbit,
like a
stream
stream
that
that meets
meets
a boulder halfway through the woods.
Who can say if I've been changed for the better? I do believe I have been changed for the better. But because I knew you,
Because I knew you. Because I knew you. I have been changed
for good.
Next up, we have Evelyn Geyser. Come up, Evelyn.
Good afternoon, everyone. I really am also just so honored to be up here to celebrate Pat through music. And this service was such a glorious event to be able to sing with people who have studied with Pat for their whole careers and hear those voices behind me and beside me was just such an honor and a tribute to Pat. It was incredible. So thank you to everybody who organized that and for this event. I wanted to extend my own condolences, but my whole family loved Pat the way I loved him. And they were all sad that they weren't able to be here. They're all up in Ohio. And I just chuckled to myself a little bit when I thought about the first time that Pat met my folks. We were all going to some opera somewhere, and Pat comes in the door and he says, "You're so good looking." And so is your wife. That was so Pat. I mean, it's just, and of course, my folks just beamed with joy, because it was so, you always felt important being around Pat. And for Pat to compliment you in that kind of way, it just was always so fun. And he was always somebody that shared his bubbly spirit so broadly that you couldn't help but have an incredible time every time you were with him. And so I'm not sure I have a whole lot more to say. I wrote a few notes down. I feel like Pat was larger than life. I love the tributes that were given for him that were just so beautiful and so real. He was always bubbling with his whole heart. Seemed to bubble out of him all the time. And I feel like that heart, as a result of bubbling out of him, is still with us every day and all that we do. And the song that I'm going to sing is from this kind of weird book. It's called Myths and Hymns. And it's called Migratory V. And it's about how much God would love to see everyone flocking together. And this is just such a Pat thing because he just always wanted everyone to be expressing joy and love for each other. And so I'm going to celebrate him through this song.
We sail above the weather. We search the ocean floor. We rival our creation, still yearning for more. But can we fly together? A migratory V. How wonderful if that's what God could see. A simple voice, a whispered prayer, can only pray to answer there. But all as one, we sound the everlasting sound and sing to our salvation. Aloft and in formation, a migratory V. How wonderful
Okay, just to end us up to this afternoon, we have Graham singing probably Pat's signature song, Impossible Dream. And so Graham's giving instructions over here on how he wants it done. Graham Fandre.
This is Pat's song. To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go, to right the unrightable wrong, to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable stars. This is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, and my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest. And the world will be better for this, that one man, scorned and covered with scars, still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable stars. This is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest. And the world will be better for this, that one man, scorned and covered with scars, still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable stars. Thank you.
Grateful, grateful, truly grateful I am. Grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. If you're really lucky in your life, every once in a while, someone comes into it, a teacher or a mentor or a friend who believes in you, even at those times when you don't necessarily believe in yourself. Pat was one of those people in my life, and I know I'm one among many lives that he changed for the better. What a blessing he was to all of us, and he will always be with me in my heart and in all the music I ever make. Much love.